All right, let's talk about money. It's this huge topic, right? Something we deal with every single day. And honestly, it can feel really complicated. But what if it didn't have to be? What if we could just boil it all down and make it simple? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
I mean, be honest for a second. When you hear words like budgeting or saving, does your brain just kind of fog over? If that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. It's a super common feeling. But here's the thing, we're going to change that right here. We're going to strip away all that complexity and just focus on a few simple, really powerful ideas. Seriously, you've totally got this.
Okay, so where do we start? Well, we start with the absolute first step. This is the foundation for everything else. And it's all about figuring out the difference between what you need and what you want. And this comparison just lays it all out, right? A need, that's the stuff you absolutely have to survive. We're talking food, water, a place to live. A want, on the other hand, is something that's, nice to have, but you'll be okay without it. So that new video game, that's a want. That expensive jacket, definitely a want. And yeah, that daily takeout coffee, that's a want too. Just getting this one difference down is the key that unlocks pretty much everything else. And that whole idea leads us perfectly into our next big concept, the budget. And I know, that word can sound a little intimidating, maybe even restrictive, but let's try to reframe it. Let's think of it more like a master plan for your money. Because that's all it is, really. It's not some set of strict, scary rules designed to make you miserable. Nope, it's just a plan. It's a tool that gives you information and, most importantly, puts you in the driver's seat. And look, every budget, every plan has two simple parts. On one side, you've got money in. That's pretty straightforward. It's the money you get, maybe from your job. And on the other side, you've got money out. And that's everything you spend money on, from the big stuff like rent and bills, all the way down to the small stuff, like, yep, that daily coffee. I really love this analogy. A budget is like a map. Think about it. A map doesn't yell at you or tell you where you have to go. It just shows you the landscape, right? It shows you the possible routes you can take. A budget does the exact same thing for your finances. It just gives you the information so that you get to choose your own path. And one of the first things that MAP often reveals is just how much those small, everyday purchases can affect the bigger picture. We tend to dismiss them, think they're no big deal, but they really add up. So let's take that daily coffee we've been talking about. It seems harmless, doesn't it? Maybe it costs, what, $3? In the moment, that feels like nothing. But then look at this. That $3 coffee, if you get one every single day, turns into $90 by the end of the month. $90. And this is why a budget is such a powerful tool. It takes all those little invisible expenses and makes them totally visible. Okay, so now you've got this map. You can see exactly where your money is going. So what's next? Well, now it's time for the action plan. We're talking simple, practical ways you can start to save, like right now. And we're not talking about huge, drastic changes here. It's all about small shifts. Things like, making your coffee at home instead of buying it out, cooking your own meals more often. And this is a big one, actually using a shopping list when you go to the store. You see the pattern here? Each one of these targets a common want and turns that spending into real savings. And that shopping list idea, it really brings everything full circle, doesn't it? A list stops you from just grabbing things on impulse. It keeps you focused on your needs. It's basically a mini budget just for your groceries. See, it all comes back to having a plan. But saving money just for the sake of saving,
can feel a little empty, can it? The real magic, the thing that makes it all stick, happens when you give those savings a mission, a purpose, a goal. This is your why. Why are you making coffee at home? Why are you cooking more meals? It's not just to pile up money, it's to get something you really want. Maybe that's a vacation you've been dreaming about, a new phone, or hey, even a new bicycle. Having a real, concrete goal makes the whole process of saving so much easier. And that goal, it becomes your secret weapon, your superpower. Because when you're tempted to make one of those impulse purchases, you can just ask yourself this one simple question. And suddenly, it's not about restriction anymore. It's about making a choice. This small thing I want right now, or that bigger, much more awesome thing I want later. I love that idea, a bicycle jar. It just makes the whole thing feel so much more real and honestly more fun. It's not some boring, abstract savings account anymore. It's your vacation fund or your new phone fund. Every dollar you put in there isn't just gone. It's another step closer to that amazing goal you set for yourself. All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's bring it all home and wrap it up with a quick, super clear summary. This is your 4-step plan to really taking control.
And that's it. It really is this simple. Step 1, understand the difference between needs and wants. Step 2, make a simple budget so you can see where your money's actually going. Step 3, use that info to find small, easy ways to save. And finally, step 4, give those savings a purpose by setting a goal. That's the whole playbook right there.
See? It's not about being some kind of financial genius. It's not about crazy complicated spreadsheets or depriving yourself of everything you enjoy. It is just about having a simple plan. Because that's what puts you in control. And let me tell you, that feeling is incredibly powerful. So I'll leave you with this one question. Forget the numbers in the spreadsheets for just a minute and think about the goal. What's that one thing that would actually make you excited to save money? What's your bicycle? Because once you figure that out, well, that's when everything else just starts to click into place.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever opened your banking app, taken one look, and then, just immediately closed it? Like, you just didn't want to face the numbers.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely not alone there. It's funny, isn't it? Money is something we handle constantly, every single day.
Every day.
But for so many of us, actually managing it feels like this big, complicated secret hidden behind, I don't know, confusing terms and ideas.
Well, that feeling, that confusion, that's exactly what we want to tackle today. We've gone through a bunch of material that's really designed to cut through all that noise.
Yeah, the focus is totally on, simple, practical steps. Stuff you can actually use right away to make a budget. Start saving using words anyone can grasp.
So our mission here is basically a shortcut. We want to give you the tools to shift from feeling like money just happens to you to feeling like you're actually genuinely in control.
Yeah, the really interesting thing is often the biggest win, that feeling of control, it happens before you even save a penny.
Huh?
It's that moment when you stop guessing, when you finally see, maybe for the first time, exactly where your money is really going. That knowledge, that itself is power. Financial power.
Okay, let's break this down. So the sources we looked at say the absolute first step, the critical one, is just drawing a line, making a clear distinction between two kinds of spending.
Needs and wants.
Needs versus wants.
This is totally fundamental.
Okay.
So a need, basically, is something you absolutely have to live, to function reasonably well.
Like the real basics.
Exactly. We're talking food, actual nourishing food, clean water, a safe place to live, shelter, things that if you took them away, your health or survival would be, immediately at risk.
Got it. Essentials. And then the other category, wants.
Right. A want is, well, anything else. Anything you like to have, something that makes life maybe more comfortable or fun, but isn't strictly necessary to survive.
And the examples the sources give are pretty clear, right? Like a new video game.
Yeah. Or that third streaming service you signed up for. Or maybe getting a new coat when your old one is perfectly fine, just because the new one looks, I don't know, fancier.
It sounds so simple when you put it like that, needs versus wants, but I mean, in reality, that line gets super blurry, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. All the time.
Like, how many people mix up a need, say transportation, to get to work with a want, like a brand new, really expensive car with huge monthly payments?
Exactly. And that blurring, that's often what keeps people feeling stuck financially.
Yeah.
Advertisers are brilliant at this. They try to make wants feel like needs.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you, oh, you need this latest phone to be productive, or you need this subscription box to stay current.
Right.
The trick is just applying some objective thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If your current phone works fine, the new model is a want. If you have a car that gets you where you need to go reliably, the luxury upgrade is a want. Simple as that.
And if we can't make that distinction accurately, we miss something else the sources talked about, which is opportunity cost.
Precisely. That money you spend on the want, maybe it's that fancy coffee every day or the designer jacket, it's not just gone. It's a lost chance.
A lost opportunity to do something else with it.
Yeah, that same money could have gone towards a bigger goal you have, or maybe into savings to handle, unexpected problems later on.
Yeah.
So understanding needs versus wants, it's like putting on these special glasses that help you start directing your money where you actually want it to go.
Okay, so needs versus wants is the foundation. Got it. Now, the next big idea is actually mapping out your money using a budget. But that word budget, it makes people flinch, right? They think it means sacrifice or complicated spreadsheets.
Yeah, we definitely need to reframe that. A budget isn't punishment. It's just a plan. It's information.
A plan. I like that. An information tool.
Exactly. It actually gives you permission to spend in certain areas, and it shows you clearly where you might have extra, or maybe where you need to adjust things a bit. It's like a roadmap for your money, not a roadblock.
Okay. Map, not roadblock. So practically speaking, how do we build this map? What are the parts?
Well, every budget really just needs two main parts. You can call them income and expenses if you want to be formal, but the simplest way to think about it is just money in and money out.
Money in and money out. Okay.
Money in is pretty straightforward, usually your paycheck, any money you receive. Money out is, well, everything else. Rent, bills, insurance, food, groceries, that coffee we keep mentioning, spending money, all of it.
Now, one thing the source material really emphasized was that you don't need fancy software for this. It actually pushed for like a simple notebook and pen.
The analog way.
Yeah. But I wonder, if, for someone who's already feeling overwhelmed, maybe juggling work stuff digitally, doesn't adding another manual tracking thing sound like swapping one kind of complexity for another? Like time complexity.
That's a really fair point. And look, modern banking apps, digital tools, they can automate a lot of this tracking. Absolutely. But what the sources argue about the physical notebook, the pen and paper, is the awareness it creates. It forces you to actively engage.
How so?
When you physically write down, say you spent $20 on fast food, you have to confront that choice, that spending, much more directly. It hits differently in your brain than just, scrolling past a line item on an app.
Okay. So it's about making the spending more deliberate, more visible to yourself.
Exactly. And it's accessible, right? Pretty much everyone can get a notebook and pen.
Yeah.
The really crucial exercise they suggest is this. For one full month, just one, you track every single thing you spend money on.
Every single, like even the small stuff. I feel like people tend to ignore the little purchases.
Oh, you have to track the small stuff. They absolutely matter. This is usually where the big surprise comes in, that aha moment we hinted at earlier.
Right, the aha moment.
People consistently underestimate how much frequent small purchases add up. That $3.50 coffee every morning on the way to work. 5 days a week, that's not $3.50.
That's what, $17.50 a week?
Yeah, which is suddenly $70 or maybe even $80 a month, easily. And when you see that number written down at the end of the month, a pretty big number, totally avoidable. That came from maybe 20 tiny decisions you barely thought about. Well, your whole perspective on your spending can change instantly.
Wow. Seeing it aggregated like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful. So the budget map, it doesn't judge you, but it clearly shows the needs versus wants territory. And that lets you see where you might be able to, optimize things.
Exactly. And once you have that map, once you've tracked for that month, then you can move into action, into saving. Because the budget will clearly highlight those smaller, frequent wants.
It's the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, exactly. The areas where cutting back feels manageable but gives you immediate results.
Okay, let's get practical then. What were the specific strategies the sources recommended for some quick wins, like the top 3 simple changes?
Right, so they target the things you buy often. First one, the coffee swap. We just talked about it, right? How fast that daily cafe habit adds up.
That's $70, $80 a month.
Yep. So if you're spending, say, $5 a day, 5 days a week, that's easily over $100 a month gone. Just making coffee at home, even if you buy really nice coffee beans, cuts the cost way, way down. It's mostly a habit change, not really a hit to your quality of life, but boom, instant cash freed up.
Okay, $100 a month just from coffee. That's significant.
Huh.
What's the second big one?
Prioritize home cooking.
Yep.
Basically, convenience costs a lot. Eating out, getting takeout delivered,
Yeah.
it's always way more expensive than making food yourself.
Yeah, it's true.
And the sources suggest a specific tactic here. Cook once, eat twice.
Cook once, eat twice.
Yeah. So when you make dinner, just intentionally cook more than you need for that one meal. Make extra, then you've got lunch ready for the next day.
Ah, smart.
It saves money because your cost per meal goes down, plus it stops you from making that impulse buy of like a $15 lunch near work the next day because you didn't pack anything.
So you're saving time and money there, reducing the cost per meal and knocking out another daily expense. Okay, makes sense. And the third simple strategy.
This one tackles impulse buying right where it usually happens. The supermarket. The trick is the shopping list.
A shopping list. Okay. Seems basic, but how does it work?
Before you even walk into the store, you look at what you actually need. You write down only the essentials: bread, milk, eggs, vegetables, whatever. That list, it's like your defense shield against all the marketing in the store.
Defense shield, I like that.
Seriously, supermarkets are designed to make you buy extra stuff you didn't plan on. Wants, not needs. You know, the candy at the checkout, the special offer on cookies you weren't even thinking about.
So the rule is, if it's not on the list, it's not a need for this trip. It's an optional spend that takes you away from maybe saving that money.
Precisely. Think of the shopping list as like a mini budget just for your groceries. It brings that same planning discipline to probably your most frequent spending category after housing.
Right. Coffee swap, home cooking, shopping list. Okay, doing those things helps us find extra money by cutting back on wants. But the sources also stress that just like denying yourself things all the time isn't sustainable. It's not fun.
Exactly. Deprivation doesn't work long term.
So how do we make saving feel less like punishment and more exciting, or at least motivating?
You need an engine, a reason why you're doing it. And that comes from setting a clear, specific saving goal.
A goal. Okay.
Yeah, something tangible you really want. It's the compelling reason to make those little daily adjustments. Maybe it's saving up for a vacation you've dreamed about, or replacing an old laptop, or buying a new bicycle, something real.
Okay, so let's say my goal is that new bicycle. How does having that goal actually help me when I'm tempted to buy something impulsively?
It creates a direct choice right there in the moment. So you're standing at the checkout, you see some $10 gadget you kind of want. Instead of asking, can I afford this $10?
Yeah.
You ask yourself the real question.
Which is?
Do I want this $10 gadget right now, or do I want to put this $10 towards my new bicycle?
Pitting the immediate want against the bigger goal.
Exactly. And usually the bicycle, the bigger dream, the thing you're actually excited about, wins that internal debate more often than not, because the goal feels important.
That definitely reframes it. It's not sacrifice, it's progress towards something better. Okay, so I make the choice. I save the $10 instead. Where should I put that money to, like, reinforce the good decision?
The sources suggest a couple of good options. For bigger, maybe longer-term goals, like that vacation, open a totally separate savings account at your bank. Nickname it vacation fund or whatever.
Keep it separate.
Yeah, keeps it out of sight, out of mind for daily spending. But for smaller goals, or even just to collect the money you save from, say, the coffee swap, use a physical container. A simple glass jar or a piggy bank works great.
Bicycle jar. Yeah, I can see that. There's something really satisfying about seeing the money pile up physically.
Totally. It makes the whole saving process less abstract. You see the progress towards your goal every time you drop a coin or a folded bill in there. It's like immediate positive feedback. Very motivating.
This has been really helpful. We've gone from figuring out needs versus wants to mapping where the money actually goes with the budget, and then finding ways to save and stay motivated.
Yeah, just to quickly recap the steps we covered.
Yeah.
First, the foundation. Really understanding the difference between needs and wants. Second, creating your budget map, money in, money out, tracking everything for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Third, putting some simple saving strategies into action, like the coffee swap, home cooking, cook once, eat twice, and always using a shopping list.
Right.
Fourth, giving yourself that motivation with a clear saving goal. And fifth, making it tangible, maybe using a piggy bank or a jar to watch the savings grow.
It's a clear sequence. It feels like anyone, really, no matter where they're starting from, can use this to start feeling more in control. You're not just guessing anymore. You have the map. You have the plan.
And that feeling of control, ultimately, that's the real prize here. It's incredibly powerful as the source material really drives home just knowing where every single dollar is going.
Yeah.
Making that map.
Right, the map-making idea.
So here's a final thought, a challenge maybe. Take that exact same idea, the rigorous map making, tracking everything, and try applying it to another really valuable resource you have.
Like what?
Maybe your time, or your energy, or even just your attention. For the next week, try tracking where those things actually go. Just observe. Note down the wants you might be spending them on unnecessary distractions, time-wasting habits, low-value tasks, maybe without even realizing it.
Interesting. Applying the budget concept beyond just money.
Yeah. You might just find that bringing that same level of discipline awareness to other parts of your life could give you a sense of control that goes way beyond your bank account. Something to think about.